What's up, everybody? Retro Python here. Today, we're going to talk about Nintendo's 7th generation console, the Nintendo Wii. Released on November 19th, 2006, the Wii would go on to sell over 100 million units to date. Besides the many incarnations of the Nintendo DS, the Wii is Nintendo's best-selling console. It ranks 5th on the all-time list, right behind the original PlayStation. The Wii was packed with many innovations, from the Wii Remote, the Wii Balance Board. First time we see the Mii's, Virtual Console, WiiWare, Nintendo's foray into digital content. The Wii was met with rave reviews and became a pop culture phenomenon. Tons of new games took advantage of the unique Wii Remote controllers. Families gathered for hours playing games like Wii Sports, Carnival Games, Mario Party. Make no mistake about it, while there are a plethora of kids' titles out there, the Wii is not just a kid's toy. Game makers took advantage of the hardware to put a new spin on their titles. Games like Resident Evil, Manhunt, Call of Duty series offered new control schemes to take advantage of the Wii remotes to give you a little more immersive sense of control. All of your favorite Nintendo characters can be found on the Wii. Donkey Kong, Mario, Zelda, Metroid. All have games that rank near the top of the best Wii games. It also plays Gamecube games, but we'll talk about that later. Enough with the history lesson. Let's get started. So there's so many steps to this hack that we're just going to create a checklist and make sure we check off as we go. We don't want to miss anything. We want to have this working perfectly for us. All right, let's see what we're going to need for this project. Obviously, we're hacking a Nintendo Wii, so we're going to need a Nintendo Wii console. You're going to need a regular Wii remote. You can't be one of those motion sensor plus ones. It has to be one of the originals, the motion sensor plus. Don't seem to work that right in the hack. Your hairline and your waist size are not the only things that changed in the last 15 years the Wii came out. TVs are completely different, and you're going to need some kind of adapter to help you plug this into your newer TV. This is a great adapter by Mayflash. It's on Amazon. It's cheap. Link is in the description. I'm going to be using a 4 terabyte Western Digital Passport USB drive for this one. I only use Western Digital drives, and you probably should too. Last but not least, you need an SD card. Nothing terribly large. 2 gig is more than enough. We're going to use this to help get the hacks on the Wii, and it's going to store the hacks. Your games will be on the hard drive, so it doesn't have to be that big. All right, now that we're done with the hardware, we're going to move right on to the exploit, which is pretty much the foundation of this hack. All right, so open up your Google device. We're going to head over to Wii.guide. This is pretty much the guide we're going to follow to install a homebrew channel. So right under the Ready tab, just say, okay, we're going to choose our exploit. Since this is a fresh Wii, just totally formatted, we can't use the internet channel hack or anything else. So these exploits are sorted by easiest. So let's just do the easiest one. It's the EULA one. We're just going to follow the steps. Essentially, you're just changing your DNS servers. It's very easy to do. We'll flip back and forth to the guide and the Wii as we do this. So let's flip over to the Wii now and see what we have to do. All right, let's turn this Wii on. I got the memory card in there just for good luck. I think we're going to need it. Let's go back to the guide. Okay, so we are going to have to go to settings, the internet, connection settings, pick our selection, change settings, and then we're going to have to change the DNS to these. Okay, let's do that. Wii, settings, internet, connection settings, pick the wireless, change settings, I'm going to go to right. So we want to pick no on a DNS, advanced set, 97, 74, 103, 14, 173, 201. 71. 14. Okay. Confirm. Save. Okay, let's go and test it. All right, connection is successful. Do we want to do an update? Nope. Okay, now according to this, I believe we have to go to user agreements and hit yes on this. Next here, it's going to load. And if we did this right, we should see a My Little Pony. And we will accept this. Now this is going to freeze for about a minute to 2 minutes. Don't panic, just let it sit. If it gets to 3 or 4 minutes, then you can start to panic. But let's just hit it and we wait. All right, here we go. This is a good sign. Downloading the Priiloader. This is normal. Don't panic. Don't start slapping your TV. Just wait a second on here. It'll tell you to hit a button in a minute. While we wait for this to load, we'll check out the guide. Okay, so we did all this. Where are we? We're going to go to the Homebrew channel. Okay, here's where we are now. So once that comes up, we're going to hit button 1, and then we're going to hit continue and select install Homebrew channel. Perfect. Hit 1. Continue. Install Homebrew channel. Yes. That was easy. Continue. Okay, let's see what else we got to do. Back to the guide. Once installed, press back and go to BootMii. If the main screen says you can install BootMii, as boot to do so. This offers the best possible brick protection. If it doesn't, install BootMii as an iOS. This is where we're going to need the SD card. So make sure you put it in there. So let's go to BootMii. We could only install it as an iOS. Let's prepare the SD card first. Here we go. Continue. Install BootMii as iOS. Yes. Writing. Install BootMii as an iOS. Yes. Success. Very nice. Okay. Let's go back to the guide. Let's not jump ahead. Once it's done, select continue and select exit to go to the Homebrew channel. Okay, now we're going to make a backup of the system memory, the NAND, as you will. Or is it NAND? I don't know. Call it whatever you want. Okay. Exit. Okay. So we're at the Homebrew channel. Let's go back to the guide. Okay, once at the Homebrew channel, hit the home button to launch BootMii. Navigating BootMii is not possible using the Wii remote. Okay, so your Wii remote's going to stop working. You can use either a Gamecube controller or use your power and reset button on the Wii. So that's what we're going to do. Okay. Too lazy to get my Gamecube controller out. So we're going to launch BootMii. We're going to use our power button to go to the gear. We're going to say, back this up, and the reset button is select. And then here we go. This is going to take a little while. So Go grab something to eat, a cup of coffee. Figure this out when we come back. You can verify your backup if you want. I'm not going to. So we're going to go back. And let's go back to our guide. Okay, when the backup is complete, exit the NAND screen by pressing any button. To exit BootMii, press the back button along with the arrow. Now that the exploit is done, we're going to install Priiloader. Priiloader allows a level of brick protection. Anytime you're doing a hack, you could always brick the unit. It also allows you to add hacks to the Wii menu, where it boots, launch the Homebrew channel, etc. All right, so I got my SD card in my computer now, so we're going to install Priiloader. I'm going to download it. Let's extract it. What we need to do is we need to move this folder into our USB. We have to create, let's actually do this. Let's snap it. I'm going to create a folder here called apps. I'm going to take this, I'm going to move it into the app. Now, we're going to go back to our Wii. All right, so the SD card is back in the Wii, as you see by this little thing here. We'll go to Homebrew channel. And we're going to load the Priiloader. Okay. Let's go back to the guide. See what we have to do. Download. Okay. Once we get to this, press the plus button. Okay. So we're going to do that. We're going to hit the plus button. Okay. Update done. Back to loader. Exciting. Actually, it says exiting. Okay, so now we want to go back to the guide. Hold the reset button while turning on your Wii. You should see the Priiloader menu. Okay, let's do that. Power it off. Hold the reset. Power back on. There's Priiloader. Okay. According to this, we want to go to System Menu Hacks. If you're using a USB SD Wii or not, we recommend you turn on the following hacks. Okay, so we're going to do that. System Menu Hacks. So you go to System Menu Hacks. There we go. Okay, so we're going to block disk updates. Just hit the A button. Everything is disabled until we go down to region-free everything. Enabled, 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 enabled. No system menu sounds at all. Disabled. Scroll down and save settings. Okay. Settings are saved. Scroll. Press B to go back. Scroll to Homebrew channel and A to launch it. Now that Priiloader is complete, we're going to move on to installing the custom firmware for the CIOS is. So let's follow this guide here. Okay. This tutorial will tell you how to install the custom iOS. This is required if you want to load games. See, you need an SD card and the installer. So let's download this installer now. This is going to go in the app folder as well. So let's extract this. Okay. We're going to put that folder inside of our app folder of the SD card. Let's put the SD card back in the computer. Bring it over. Once it's there, let's go back to the Wii. All right, once you go back to your Wii, you'll see that D2X CIOS installer is in your Homebrew channel. We're just going to load that up. Let's go back to the guide, see what we have to do here. Okay, so you have to make some revisions certain slots. Just keep referencing the guide. There's a few of them. Let's go back to the Wii. First one we have to do is slot 249. We got to change that to beta 52. Base is 57. Oops. Revision is 65535. Okay, I'm going to hit A to continue. I'm going to hit A again. Let it install. Just going to patch everything. Once this is complete, you hit A again to go back, and we got to do a couple more. Okay. When done installing, we're going to hit A to go back. Now we're going to change this to 56, and this is going to be 250. So we're going to do A again. That's installing. Okay. So we're now on, we'll be on 4 in a second. We're going to move to 5. Okay, A twice. Now we are going to do, this is going to be 38, and this is going to be 251. Continue. Let's go back to the guide and see what we got to do next. Once that's done, although the majority of games should work straight away with default, some many require using specific CIOS. So I know that some of the Just Dances require a different CIOS to reload, but we'll show that later. Okay, let's go back to the Wii and see where we are. So now that the custom CIOSs are installed, we're now going to start moving games over. First, we have to prepare the hard drive. So right now, we pretty much have 2 steps left. We have to set up the UI, which is either USB loader or WiiFlow. In our situation here, we're going to use USB loader, or we can set up our hard drives with games. That's going to take a little bit because we have to copy a lot of games if we're copying all the games. So I like to set up the games first. It's a chicken or the egg kind of scenario, because if we set up the UI now, we have no games on a hard drive. How are we going to know if it actually worked? Okay. So I use only Western Digital drives. So I am going to grab the Western Digital Quick Formatter for Windows. This software is great. We're going to use it to format the drive. Even if it's already formatted, even if it's brand new, use this software. I'm going to set it to Windows XP, and I'm going to format the drive. This is going to take a little while. Okay, the drive is now formatted. So now we're going to go to another piece of software called Wii Backup Manager. This is an absolute must. This is the software you will use to put your Wii games on your hard drive. You only have to do this once if you're, let's say, making a copy of a hard drive for a friend. You can just copy your hard drive. You wouldn't need to redo this. We're going to load Wii Backup. Okay, now we're going to go to Tools, Format Drives. We want to go to the D drive, 4 terabytes. We want to make sure it's FAT32. We just say Start. So we're going to erase everything. This will ensure that the drive is in MBR format and FAT32. Again, we'll let this go. This one's a lot quicker. We're done with this. We can close this. We're going to run disk part in a command prompt. We're going to list the disks. And as you can see, disk 3 is not a GPT drive. That's exactly what we need. Okay, now that we have our hard drive set up, we're going to start adding our Wii games. We're going to open up Wii Backup Manager. This is going to help us set up the games as WBFS. If you see when you formatted the drive that it actually created a WBFS folder on your hard drive. So we're just going to add our games now. We'll do files. My games are on my network drive, so I have to go to network. I can't map a drive letter. It doesn't accept it for some reason, but I'll do it this way. And here's my folder. We're just going to select these all. Give it a little bit. All right, we are now in the future where all the games have copied. Now we're going to move this over to our drive. We're going to set up drive 1 to be our D drive, which I believe is our 4 terabyte drive. Yes, it is. We're going to go up into files. We're going to select all of them. We're going to transfer to drive 1. Now this is going to take a while, 12, 13 hours. So we'll get in our time machine and we'll be back. All right, through the magic of editing, it's the next day. Everything has been copied over. We're just going to check out our D drive, WBFS folder. As you can see, it puts each game in its own folder with the, I guess that's like the SKU of the game. If a game is bigger than 4 gigabytes, it breaks it up because of the FAT32 limitation. So, all right, now we're going to start copying over our Gamecube games. Now, you don't have to do this if you're not going to play your Gamecube games on your Wii. I personally like to play Gamecube games on a Gamecube because that's what they're made for. But the Wii does have some advantages like it upscales and whatnot. So let's go into our external drive. We're going to create a folder called Games. Okay. We're going to go to where our ROMs are. Now, so for GameCube games, they have to be in a special format. They can't be NKit, they got to be ISOs, and they have to be in this kind of folder structure. You have the name of the game, and then the ISO inside that folder has to be named game.iso. You have to put those on your hard drive in the games folder. This is going to take a little bit, so we're going to fast forward, and we'll be back. All right, so a couple hours have passed. Now we're going to take a look. 613 games on the right, 613 games on the left. So now that the games are copied, we're going to download USB Loader and we're going to set that up. So we're back at Wii Guide now. We're going to download USB Loader GX. This is the one I use. You can use WiiFlow. I prefer USB Loader GX. We're going to extract that. And then we're going to put it on our USB drive in the apps folder. Let that just copy itself over. And now we have USB Loader in there. We're going to take the SD card out of the computer. We're going to head back to the Wii now. We're also going to take our hard drive and plug it into the USB port of the Wii. If you have your Wii laying flat, it's going to be the bottommost USB port. If you have it standing vertically, it's going to be the port furthest to the right there. Thank you, Mario. All right, we're going to press A. We're going to go to the Homebrew channel, click Start. We're going to hit USB loader, and we're going to load it. Now be patient. This has 1,500 plus games on it. It's going to take a minute or two to kind of get its bearings and get everything straightened out. Once this is loaded, we are going to download or scrape the artwork. Again, just be patient. This is real time. I'm not going to fast forward this way. You can see how long it takes. I've seen it take as long as a minute. Patience, patience. Didn't your grandpappy ever tell you good things come to those who wait? There we go. As you can see, there's no artwork. Question mark, question mark. 20 years cover art. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Ugly, ugly, ugly. So what we're going to do is we're going to first change the paths because we want to save on our USB drive. So 3D cover path. We're going to change that to USB. We're going to aim, and that's just, we're going to save it right there natively. We're going to go to 2D. We're going to go images. We're going to go 2D. Okay. Full cover path, USB, images, full cover path. One more, disk artwork, USB, just disk. Okay. We're going to go back. Now we're going to hit the 1 button. Again, every time it's got to recycle games. If you close out of a game and you go back in, it's got to reload that menu. So give it a second. There we go. Wasn't too bad. Hit 1. I'm going to download everything. Why not? I'm going to hit OK. It's going to take a couple minutes. When I say a couple minutes, a couple hours. So just sit tight and let it do it. Let it do its thing. All right, so it comes back and tells us there's 6,048 missing files. Do we want to download them all? Yes, we do. It's going to initialize the network, and then it's going to go to work. Again, this is going to take a couple hours, so sit back, watch a movie, read a book, do whatever you want to do. We'll come back when this is done. All right, now you can see it didn't find 196 files. You can save the list to your hard drive and go over and add them manually. We're just going to hit OK for now. Let's just scroll forwards and back so it finds the files. There we go. You can start seeing the artwork populate. Occasionally, you're going to find a question mark here or there for some obscure game. Again, you could add them manually if you'd like to those paths that we set up. There we go. Now you can see that the question marks are gone. Well, we have one there. So not sure what that game is, but you can manually fix that. Let's go through them. Looks nice. Nice and cool. Again, it does take a minute or two to load, but let's try a game. Let's try Mortal Kombat Armageddon. Each game has individual settings you can go in. Some games need to load a different CIOS. There's a list online you could find. Usually you can tell when you load it, you just get a black screen. It's only a handful of games. So we're just going to load this. That's it.
There have been many powerful warriors throughout the millennia. but ages of mortal combat have begun to tear the fabric of the realm.
Right, Joe. Probably gonna need a nunchuck for this. I had no idea this was even a racing game. I thought there was another Mortal Kombat fighting game. I'm gonna have to check this out. Whoa. Yeah, I think I need a nunchuck for this. I have no idea that they made a Mortal Kombat racing game. I'm definitely gonna check this out. So anyway, to get out of the game, you're gonna hit the home button. You hit the Wii menu, it's going to bring you all the way back to the Wii menu to the beginning, like you just turned the machine on. So now that we have USB Loader GX installed, what we're going to do is we're going to install USB Loader GX as a channel, which is then allow us to install it as a folder. So when you do boot up your Wii and you do go back to the home menu, it's going to go back to USB GX Loader. Our main goal is I never want to see the main Wii screen again. I think it's ugly. It's stupid looking, if I could use that term. So we're going to go right into USB GX Loader, Loader GX, whatever it's called, because that's where we're going to spend most of our time. I know this is taking forever. There's a lot of bits and pieces to this hack, but most of the time you just spend waiting, copying the games and converting them. So probably without that part, the whole hack takes about 20 minutes. I'm doing this piece by piece to kind of make it easier for you. I can do this all in one shot, but I'd rather you guys see what's going on and learn. That's what we're here for. So back to the PC, SD cards in my reader. We're going to download what is called a WAD manager. This is going to allow us to create a channel for USB loader, so we don't have to go to Homebrew. And then we want to download a forwarder, which is we're going to allow to be used that in Priiloader to load USB GX right as soon as we boot up the Wii. So a couple of cool little mods. So we're going to download Wii Loader. Download the latest release. We're going to download the forwarder, which is the channel itself. And then we're also going to download the forwarder doll 5.1 if you're on a regular Wii, which that's what this is. And I'll put these links in the description. This is a cool site here where we get the forwarder from. They actually have a separate fork of USB GX loader still. They're still working on it, as you can see a couple of days ago. Site's in German, so you're going to have to figure it out yourself. All right, let's get all this fun stuff on our memory card. Let's open up our memory card. Let's open up our Wii hacks. Get things locked. All right, so we're going to unzip our Wii Mod Lite. We're going to take that, put that in the apps folder. Oops. Put that in the apps folder. Let's go back. We're going to create a folder here called WADs. We're going to move this WAD over into that. And we want to take the forwarder and put it right in the root. And that's it. We're going to go back over to the Wii. So we're going to go back to the Homebrew channel. Let's start. We're going to load my light. I'm going to load it. We're going to go to WAD Manager, go to USB, go to WADs, pick that one. We are going to install the WAD. Okay. Now it should be a channel. Let's go back. And there we go. We have a USB Loader GX channel. You can click on that, right to load it. You don't have to go to Homebrew channel anymore. Now we're going to make the USB Loader start as soon as we turn the Wii on. We're going to shut our Wii down and we're going to go into Priiloader. So if you remember to get in the Priiloader, you hold down your reset button, you hit the power button. Wii's going to start. You get in the Priiloader menu. We're going to go to Load Install File. And we're going to run that forwarder.dol we put on our root of our memory card. We're going to hit A to install the file. Okay, it's installed. Now we're going to tell Priiloader that when the machine boots, we want to boot to the installed file. And when we want to return to the menu, we want to return to Autoboot, which would then load that installed file. So now we're going to save our settings. We're going to exit. And we're going to reboot the Wii. And it should load automatically to USB Loader GX. And there it is. So we know it's going to load. It's going to wait here for a little while. So I've been showing you how to load the Wii games and everything. So now we're going to deal with the GameCube games. We have the GameCube games copied. We have them scraped. Now we're going to load them. Back to PC. We're going to grab Nintendon't off GitHub. Link will be in the description. We'll scroll down. We're going to pick this file. We're going to go save as. We're going to do, let's do this. Let's create a folder. And we're going to call it Nintendon't, like the old Sega ads. We're going to create, we're going to save as boot.dol. Okay, that's saved. We want to set this. We want to save this. Same folder, Nintendon't. And also the icon. Nintendon't. Let's go to our Wii hacks. We're going to go to our Nintendon't folder. Make sure everything's in there. Loader.dol is now boot.dol. We're going to take this, we're going to copy it, and we are going to move it to the apps folder of our memory card. So USB GX Loader automatically looks for the Nintendon't software in apps/Nintendon't. So we already have it. We don't have to change anything. We just have to look through the settings, make sure it's auto booting, and we're done. This is really the last step. I've said it's the last step about 50 times. This is we're doing a lot to this Wii. You could even go further. It's a great emulation device. You can put other games on it. Like I said earlier, I only like to play the games that are intended to be played on the games. So I'm stretching it with the Gamecube for the Wii, but you could kind of play the Gamecube games on a Wii natively. So that's the only reason why I'm adding the Gamecube games. If you want to play GameCube games on a GameCube, check out my GameCube video. Let's go back to the Wii now and finish the last step. All right, the Wii is booted up now. I didn't want to bore you watching it load. There is over 2,100 games on this hard drive. It takes a little bit to boot up. I usually hide the GameCube games and just show the Wii ones because the GameCube games take a little longer. So we're just going to go into settings. We're going to go loader settings. We're going to make sure okay, GameCube source, Nintendon't, perfect. Now we're going to make sure progressive patch is on, force widescreen. You can play around with that if you want. Autoboot is on. That's all we're worried about. Memory card, you want individual, perfect. 4 controllers. You could turn this on if you want, and then you could use other controllers for the GameCube. I'm going to leave it off for now. We should be good to go. Again, it's got every time you go out of the menu and you go back in, it's going to take a little bit to recycle the game list. Okay. Let's just pick any kind of GameCube game. What do we want to try? I don't think there's enough FIFA games. All right, let's just pick one. I should probably pick something cool, right? I mean, I don't want to pick that. Oh, Fight Night. I like Fight Night. Let's pick Fight Night. Okay, this is a Nintendo loading screen. You're going to see it loading. There it is. Your GameCube game is loading. It's a great game. Actually, if you watch my GameCube video, I played this game. And you got your audio. I don't have a GameCube controller around here, and you cannot use your Wii controller. You hear me hitting it. So let's add that check mark to Nintendon't. We have one more thing we're going to do. We're going to grab a beer. We're going to play some retro games. Maybe I'll boot up that Mortal Kombat that I never even knew existed and drive around as Sub-Zero. Make sure you like and subscribe so you get those alerts. We have a lot of videos coming down the pipe. Or Pike. I'm not sure what that saying is. Neither makes sense to me. We have a Nintendo Wii U video, a Nintendo DS video, Sony PSP video. You guys seem to like my RetroPie minis, my Dreamcast, and my TurboGrafx. I'm working on a Nintendo 64 one. That is pretty cool. That's been a year in the making. I'm also working on a video on a how-to of the Sega Dreamcast. You guys are going to love that. So go grab a beer. You guys really worked hard for it on this one, and enjoy. See you next time.